Hi everyone, it's Valor from Online Combat Battalion. This one's a tutorial on Arma Reforger related to navigating. As you may know, there's no markers on the map for this. You can't place down a marker and then just march to it. You've actually got to use a map and compass. A few people have asked me questions about navigating, and here I'm going to give you some pointers on finding your way around in Arma Reforger on the island of Everon. So at the moment I'm on top of a large hill, that's all I know. I don't know exactly where I am. If I open the map, it's not going to show me where I am. I'm not going to get any sort of idea of where I am. So I need to firstly find a feature that I can orientate on the map, or I can identify on the map, that will give me some idea of where I am. Okay, so I'm going to open my compass and I'm looking west and I can see the ocean. So I know I'm on the western side of the island somewhere. Exactly where, I do not know. So I'm going to get a bit further down towards the coast and see if I can identify any specific features down there. Okay, so I've gone a couple of hundred meters to the west and I'm looking at the ocean at the coastline, and I can see a fairly distinctive feature out there. I'm going to have a look at a bit more closely. So there's a feature that comes out sort of like a peninsula and forms a bay. So I'm going to have a look on the map, and I think that might be what I'm looking at the moment. So I'm roughly in this area here somewhere, and there's a military compound, but I don't know how far I am exactly. So I'm going to go down until I intersect with one of these roads, and I'm going to try and find this road junction here so I can then orientate myself better to get a better navigation on where I am. So I've run down the hill, and it's fairly steep terrain here, and I've found a bridge. So I'm going to have a look at the map, and there is a bridge, which is the grey section on the main road. Now, to make sure I'm looking at the right bridge, because there's also a smaller bridge here, I need to move forward and have a look at how the road goes, whether it's north-south roughly, or whether it winds around like this. So I'll go down and have a bit of a look. I'll stand on the bridge or near the bridge and check out the road and how it runs to give me a better idea of which bridge I'm actually at, because there's two on this section of road. Okay, so this runs generally north-south by the look of it. However, the scale of it, it's hard to work out. So what I'm also looking for is these black lines here with the dots in between on the map are power lines. So I'm looking at power lines adjacent to the bridge. Now, this bridge back here also has power lines, but they are on the eastern side of the bridge, whereas the power lines I'm looking at here are on the western side of the bridge. So this is where I am at the moment. So I am going to navigate to this military base up here. Now I could, having a look at the map, go along the bridge, onto the road, onto the first track on the right, which will roughly take me up, and as long as I follow the same path and take the first fork in the road to the right, which I can check to make sure it's correct, because there's a small guard hut or building there, looks like maybe a culvert under the road, and if I follow that all the way up, it'll take me to the military base. Okay, so I'm at a junction in the road where a track is, and the road curves around quite sharply around to the left. So again, I can have a look at the map and reference, I've got a track on my right and the road curves around sharply to the left. So I'm currently in this position here. Now, if you don't understand what grid references are, I'll quickly show you that. You've got lines that intersect from top to bottom and from left to right. Okay, so these lines that go up and down are called eastings, because they go from, well, they head east, or they could go west. and the ones that go across the map are called northings. So if we have a look at this grid square here, okay, this grid square would be 070, which is the number here, and 034, which is the number over here. So I am at grid square 070034. Now these are 100 meter increments. If I zoom out, the boxes become larger, and this is a 1000 meter square. And this square here would be 0703. Okay, so I'm at that track junction there, and I'm going to get up to the military compound. So I'll follow the road all the way up, and I'm now at the military compound. I know where I am because this is an excellent reference point, because I've navigated there by using the features on the ground. Now I'm going to show you how to use the map and the compass to use a compass bearing to navigate, which is a little more challenging. Okay, so I've navigated to the town of Villeneuve, and my squad leader's told me that he wants me to move to Limoule, which I know from Villeneuve, or Villeneuve, it's roughly south. So what I'm going to do is open my map, click on this little button here, and it will open up a compass. If I place that roughly where I am, you'll see the black line on the compass, and it looks like about 402 degrees. If I open up my compass here, I'm roughly facing 402 degrees. So the black line on this compass matches the black line on this compass. So I want to get a compass bearing to Limoule. So I know that it's roughly south of my location, and I'm not going to use the road because this is a compass navigation bearing. And let me just point it at 180 degrees south, which is the red inner ring on your compass face. You'll see now that this compass will swing, and the black line is 180 degrees directly south. But Limoule is not directly south of my location. It's close, but I want an accurate bearing. So I need to face a little further to the west and get a bearing of probably about let me have a look on my compass. So I probably want to get a bearing, let me have a look, 190. And let's check the compass on the map. It's still pointing 180 degrees south, but I'm having a look at it, and it looks like 190 will get me to Limoule, or very close to it. Now, you may be wondering how it is that I actually navigate to that point and still keep my bearing. Well, there's a good old trick that I learnt many years ago when I was wearing a green suit. It's to look in the distance and pick a feature off in the distance. In this case, I've got a tree to the front here, and I'm going to use that tree, which is, bring up my compass again, 190 to that tree, and you'll see that it lines up with the line at the top there in the lid of my compass. So I know that if I walk to that tree, I'm going to walk 190 degrees. So I'll head over here. Now, it's not great to use trees usually, especially in game, because they will tend to change shape a little as you get close to them. But if you look at the top of them, the top of that tree stayed fairly consistent. Alright, you can wander off your path a little, not too much. And now I've reached the tree. So I'm going to stand just the other side of the tree, and I'm going to bring up my compass again, have a look at 190, and there I've got 3 trees in front of me. Okay, and I'm going to pick the middle one because that's 190. So I know that if I get up to that tree, I've continued on my track 190 degrees in that direction. Now if you alternate by going from side to side, you're going to put yourself off your track a little bit, but not too much, provided you don't stray too far from the track. Okay, so I've reached the center tree that I was looking at. Again, I'm going to bring up my compass, put it onto 190, and I've got another tree in front of me which is pretty much between those 2 trees. So I know this is meticulous. It's painful because you don't have recognizable features off in the distance. So I'm going to move just forward so I can see past these shrubs. And again, I've got really no discernible features. So I'm going to move forward a little bit past these shrubs and see if I've got another larger tree that I can use for a compass bearing. 190 degrees. It's I sort of roughly know where I'm going. If I run in a straight line and don't deviate too much, then I'll come up to these shrubs, get through them, and see if there's any distinguishable features on the other side. So I'm pretty much here. Let me bring up the compass again. 190 degrees is pretty much that tree straight ahead. I know you can't see the one I'm looking at, but I'm going to run to that tree and you'll know which one it is in a second when I get to it. So one I'm facing directly at. And once I get there, 190 degrees, go to the other side of it, and you just keep repeating the process. Pick a feature off in the distance that's at 190 degrees, and you'll work out what it is that you want to use as your reference point. So I continue to use my reference points through the forest, although they're not fantastic. I'm now at the edge of the forest, and here is the village of Le Moulet. So I've used my compass to get a bearing to find the village, and I stayed pretty much on my bearing. And let's just check the sign to see if I'm in the right place. And yes, I've made it to the correct place. Just a refresher again for the grid square. I'm roughly north of the village still by a little bit, probably in this vicinity here actually. I've just come out of the forest. I've checked the signs which are over here somewhere. So I'll probably be here, which is grid square 025 055. So you always read the number at the bottom first, and the grid square is the one to the right of the number. And for your northings, which are the lines that go up across the map, you read up. So you go across first to your 025 and read to the right of it, and then your 055, which is the other way compass, this grid square here, which is roughly where I am. So I've moved into the center of Le Moulet, and I've found a fairly distinguishable feature here. It's a road junction pretty much in the center of the village. To get my orientation, bring up my compass, and I'm facing south. So having a look at the map, the fairly major road junction in the middle of the town, and I'm facing in this direction, which is confirmed by my compass with the black line facing pretty much 180 degrees. My squad leader has told me he wants to send me to the farm, which is northeast of my location. So again, bring up my compass. I'm going to face northeast, and let's see, let's select 030 degrees and see what my compass on the map says. No, not even close. It needs to be further east. Okay, so I'm dragging this over. So it needs to be a bit further east. So compass up again, a little bit further to the east, and let's try 050 degrees from where I am. No, that's not close enough. Although you'll notice for some reason this doesn't always match up. It's not actually pointing to 050, but if I have a look, I can see that it's closer to 075. So I'll bring up my compass, I'll have a look, 07 and 075. Bring up my compass, look at my map, and there we go. That's pretty much spot on to get to the farm. Now I've got not much in the way of man-made features off in the distance, but there is quite a large tree out there. I could use that as a reference point with my compass at 075 degrees. It's very close to. I could use that big tree, or I could use whatever that thing is in the field. There's a little square thing over in the field you probably can't see. Again, it's the same thing. You're just going to navigate on that bearing until you get there. Now, judging distance is a little bit difficult if you wanted to properly judge distance. What you could do is go to the road junction, and I'm facing 120 degrees east-southeast. Okay, and have a look at the map. I'll just move that out of the way, and I'm pretty much right there. And I know that to get from where I am to the beginning of the power lines, which remember are the black lines with these circles, that's roughly, considering this is a square of 100 meters, that's roughly about maybe 40 meters. Have a look, and there's the beginning of the power lines just over there, which is roughly 40 meters away. If you want to get really serious about measuring your distance, each pace you take when you're moving along is approximately 1 meter. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 37, 38, 39, 40. So it's fairly close to where the power lines begin, okay, which is just there. And now that I know where I am on the map, and I've got a major feature, which is the road that runs southeast out of the town, which you can confirm by using your compass, I don't need to use a compass bearing because I have features that I can use on the map to navigate and orientate map to ground. So I know that if I go down this road to the southeast, I will come to the sawmill, that I've got another distinguishable feature, which is the junction in the road. I know I've got then another road junction, which is a four-way intersection. So I've got a main track that I can use to navigate from there. Provided you know roughly where you are on the map, so find a reference point, find a town, read a street sign, read a town sign, find a road junction, have a look at your compass, make sure you know which way you're facing, and you'll pretty much find where it is that you need to go. If you've got any questions about how to navigate in the game, or anything was not clear, or you want a bit more information, then by all means shoot a question in the comments section below, and you can always visit our Discord or Guilded servers. Links will be in the description as well. Give us a thumbs up and a sub if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate your support, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.